begun. Trembling lights up in the clouds. All we need to feel is now as we go. Give me a parachute, take me to the sky. Just take me to the blue before I start to collide. Get me a parachute.
Hi, I'm Fritz.
To the sun will be a miracle.
And I'm going to show you how to pack for soft landings. First, I'm going to play with those animals.
Give me a parachute.
So after the soft landing, which was due to proper packing, I've gathered the canopy in such a way that it's easy for me to repack it again. So I didn't just bunch it all together. I actually systematically rolled the lines together and gather it, and I'm going to lay it down so that it's easier to pack again. But by no means is this to override your packing instruction as specified by the manufacturer. This is my way of packing, and there are various other ways, of course, but you should do this under proper adult supervision. So I'm just going to lay it down so that it's easier for me to start packing, like that. Walk it out. You want to take care when you take the rig off so that you don't step through any lines. So this is the way the canopy was flying, okay, with the rig on my back. I don't want to step through any lines, so I lay it down as if the canopy is still flying in that direction. So what's quite useful is a packing weight. Something like that. And the first thing I want to do is I want to do a 4-line check to make sure that the lines are continuous and I don't have any step throughs. That you can prevent when you gather the canopy in the field, but just taking it off carefully. I'm going to move the slider down, and I take my back risers, my left hand, front risers in my right hand, and I walk the lines down like this. Give it a bit of a shake. What I do is I lay down like that. Have to neaten it up a little bit so that I see what's going on. This is the center of the canopy, attachment point. So this is the end cell. So it's 1. Most canopies have 9 cells. Some might have 7, but most of the skydiving canopies will be 9. Okay, so now what I have is the line groups together. This is the front, the nose of the parachute. So my A lines, B lines, C, D lines, and these are the brakes. So what I want to do now is I want to continuity test to see that the lines aren't crossed over. And that's also known as the 4-line check. What I do, because my canopy is flying in that direction, that's the nose, this is the tail. So this is the right-hand side of the canopy, and this is the back. So back, right, take these lines, and I'll walk it out. And I'll see it must go to the back riser, right-hand side. And then, because it's the outside of the canopy, it must be on the outside of the soft link there. And I do the same with the right-hand side of the canopy, front. So the nose, front part, the right hand side of the canopy, and I walk that out. It must be right riser, front riser must be on the outside of the links. Now I know that that is okay. Now I want to check the left hand side of the canopy as well. The left hand side of the canopy must now be on the floor. This stabilizer there. This is the tail side, the back of the canopy, and I can take the line there and walk it out. And note now it's the back left hand side. So back riser, left riser, it must be on the outside of the soft link, and there we go. The same on the left front. So there we go, there's the stabilizer. So it must be the left hand side front. And I want to walk that down. Okay, and now remember it must be front riser, left, and it must be on the outside. And now I know that no lines are crossed over and I've got continuity in the lines. So while I've got it flattened out like this, I can also stow the brakes. What you want to do is make sure that the brake lines are not wound up or twisted, because that can create a tension knot. So run it back to the point where it cascades. And run the line down. Make sure it stays nice and flat. And you'll see if it's twisted or not. In this event, it actually looks pretty okay. I pull the line through the ring until I get the point where I've got my opening in the line to put the toggle through. That, so it's line, and then I pull this line back so it's nice and clean and taut. Now you get different types of toggles. Some might have Velcro here, some might just have a piece of elastic, some have a fabric that sort of folds in. This specific one has a pin just to hold it into place in that little pocket there, and the excess I just stow in the back. But like I say, some risers might have elastic or nothing at all, then that line will just remain there. Okay, and I do the same with the other toggle. I'll run it from the top. Make sure from where it's cascaded that it's not wound up and twisted. See, you can see there's a little bit of a twist in the line, so I can now just unwind it, and that's good. Okay, and the same what I've done on that side I want to do on this side. Note that the line runs on the outside of the riser, the same as this one. If this one was on the inside, I would do the same here. Just keep it the same. Okay, and again the spin, and the excess lines just stow away, and then okay, and that's it. Now what I can do, take a pull up, and I tie the 3 rings together. I take it through the rings, the big rings, just so that, just to keep the risers together, so that I don't have one set of risers shorter or longer than the other. Like that. Okay. What I want to show you now is this is a collapsible pilot chute, and how we cock the pilot chute for opening. So now what I want to do is, this is a collapsible pilot chute, and they've made it so that once the canopy is deployed, the pilot chute will collapse and have less drag, so you'll get, you don't have this big inflated pilot chute dragging behind you, causing, I don't know, a stupid flight. In any case, and what's happening here is inside the bridle, there's a keel line. It runs from the attachment point in the center of the canopy, right through the bridle, right to the inside, and attached to the hacky sack. So what I want to do is I want to pull this keel line through the bridle, this part basically, so this will be hidden now. Pull it through so that the pilot chute has enough line so that it can inflate. Okay, but because it's a very long bridle, I'm going to stand on it like that. And what you can do now is you can pull on the hacky sack. What I do is I just pull it on the line so it's less stress on the attachment of the hacky, and I pull it as far as I can. And what you'll notice is that all the line that you saw here is now gone through the bridle, and it's stopped right at the maximum there. There's no more line. All right. And then this is a little window indicating, usually there's a color change, sometimes not, but if there's a color change, it will indicate that it's been cocked enough. So a little tip, something that I do, you don't have to, is I just make a knot, a temporary knot in here. And the reason for that is so that during the packing process, this keel line doesn't slip through and I have to cock it again. Now all the excess line that you've seen there is now here, but that is pulled through inside the pilot chute so that the pilot chute can inflate nicely. But if it was collapsed, it was just plummeted. From here, the slider is opened up. It's clear. The risers are at the same position. And now I walk the canopy through. These are my brake lines. These are my back risers, and these are my front risers. And I just keep it separate like that. Stand between the lines, and walk it all the way up. Now note that my right side of the canopy, left hand, left side of the canopy. So this is the canopy collapsed in my hands. This is the right-hand side of the canopy, this is the left-hand side of the canopy in the direction of flight. We always talk about the direction of flight. What I want to do is I want to put it over my shoulders. Like this. Move a little bit forward so that the grommets are closer, otherwise it's too long to reach. I'm going to put the slider behind my back. Okay, so these grommets, where the lines attach, I just move closer so that it's close to my shoulder, not hanging down. Otherwise, it's too far for me to reach because my arms are too short. I want the lines to be taut. There's not really a lot of tension on it, but I just don't want to be sort of half of the lines hanging. Okay, so now what you want to visualize is the canopy is flying in that direction. So the nose will be in front, and the tail will be in the back, but I've got a rectangular shaped canopy crumpled up in front of me. And what I want to do is I want to gather the end cell, the nose of the canopy. I want to gather that together, hold it between my legs, and have the tail side in front of me. Okay, so now looking at this, that's the tail. And that is indicated, that's my indicator for the center of the canopy. The nose is against my body. So I want to gather all the openings. And how I do that, I'll pull this fabric out until I get to the end of the canopy. Usually it's a different color or there's something like that stitched on, but you'll see there's no more to pull out. Okay, this is the end. You'll see the moment the structure has changed, I'm at the end of it. Okay, and now I can count. Most canopies are 9 cells, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I have here is this is the whole nose, the front end where the air goes in. I hold this together, my right hand. And what I want to do is I want to clamp this between my legs so that I can do the rest of the flaking. So I move this around, and I clamp it between my legs, and I hold it there. So this looks a little bit messy now, and that's what we want to neaten up. The nose, the whole rectangular canopy, the nose has been crumpled together and is held between my legs. Now I want to neaten this up. Okay. So this is your marker. This is the center line of the canopy. And in this case, I'm very fortunate because my packing tabs are color coded, so I can see what lines go where. Remember, the nose is between my legs, and the nose is where my A lines are. So the front side of the canopy is against my body, and the back is further away. And what I want to do is, so these are my A lines, these are my B lines. If they're not color coded, which could be the case, you can count them. There should be 5 of each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the 5th one. The 5th one is on the stabilizer. I don't use it, I only use the 4. So I can pull that away, and what I want to do is the fabric from A point, from A line set to B line set, I want to flake it and neaten that up. So just by doing that, it makes the canopy neater. No fabric between material, no sort of, it's just for a cleaner, neater opening. But it's not a critical thing that's going to influence the possibility of opening or whatever. You'll see which packing tabs go with which by the length of the line. So obviously you can't have this line with this because it's much longer. These are my C lines. So then I go C1, and the yellow ones together. And what I want to see here is the same thing what I've done here. I want to do on this between A and B. I want to do between B and C, like that. Neaten it up like that. And then also with the last group set there. So the length of the lines will be a better indication of which line sets go where. Okay, D. Now what I know, lines go together, the groups are neat, like that. Okay, I want to do the same on this side. So I see my fabric making nice gentle S folds between. Do the same on this. There's my A's, count 4. There are 4 of those, and I want to neaten the material in between. So I flake those out like that. And have it there. And the next set. Keeping the center of the canopy there. Also, what I don't want any fabric between lines here. So one thing that you could do is you can go from this side, you can pull out the stabilizers to make sure that you don't have any fabric in between. Pull this out, this is clear, and you work it from line, follow the fabric to the next line. Attachment point, there. I can pull it all out. I see I don't have any fabric between the lines. I'll just put some on this side. Like this is an example. I don't want any fabric between lines, so I'll pull it out. That. It's clear. Right, now I can bring the slider over. I still have the nose between my legs. What I want to do with the slider, I want to put it in quarters. I want to have quarter front and back and to the sides. Okay, so this is my stabilizer. The 1/4 will go in there. On this side. And that. And one to the front and the other quarter to the back. And the little bit in the front, I can just close up like that, no problem. All right. And now I can bring the lines together. I can let go of the nose that I'm holding between my knees, and I can put it over one shoulder. But note that I still have all the lines neatly together. It's still taut. Okay, I need to show you on the back here. What are we sitting with now? This is the nose. This part I kept between my knees. I don't want to push it in too deep. I can leave it there. It's going to be a little bit hard opening, or I can just put it in gently like that. It's going to slow down the opening and make it a bit softer. Here's my slider. And these are the stabilizers that I can just fold under that and make it symmetric. What I have on this side, I have on this side. So the nose, a little bit like that, and hold it over my shoulder. Okay. Now what I'm doing now is not affecting the opening at all. It's just making the pack job neat and getting all the fabric out and not between lines. Here's my stabilizer. So it's got no effect. Whatever I do here has got no effect on the opening. It's just keeping the canopy a little bit closed and easier for managing when you put it in your deployment bag, but it doesn't slow it or fasten or anything. It doesn't really have a big effect. And I just left, right, whatever. Close like that. Okay. Now I want the center of the tail to bring that to close up. Lift my leg, and then now with the instruction or the label is, right next to that, there's the center of the canopy and the tail. And bring that up around the lines. What I want to do is I want to wrap the tail around the whole canopy. I want to close this up. So to pull this over, I lift my leg up a bit, my knee, and I pull the tail, the back of the canopy right over it, so that the canopy goes inside the tail, like that. And I do the same on this side. What I have here now is this. is my slider. Important to have the slider out and open because this is the shock absorber. This is what's going to slow down the opening and make it softer. Okay. Then I want the stitching here to be in a line straight up. So I've got these two set of stitches and these two together. Right. I don't want any air to come in here too quickly, so I want to close this up. Here's my little tab. And what I do here is I give it some rolls. I'm going to close that up. And I keep on rolling. Okay, you can roll it up quite a bit, but don't roll it, and you can feel this fabric on the inside. You don't want to roll any of the lines of fabric that's on the inside. You don't want it in your rolls, so only the skin that you want rolled up. But you'll feel it. It comes to sort of to an end, to a stop. You just do the same with that bottom. I don't want to let go of this. I hold on to that. Let some air out. So this is the center line of the canopy. Still holding that rolly part in my right hand, and I gently, carefully put the whole canopy down. Okay, so now I've got this sort of pear-shaped thing. So now holding this part together because I don't want this to open up. That's going to be a whack of an opening. So I hold this between my knees there. And now what I want to do is I want to get some air out of this. So starting from this side, press the canopy down and in so I can get some air out. And then work the way forward. Like that. And then slowly lie down on it so that you don't disturb it too much. You want to just get some air out. You feel that some fabric is slipping out? Just work it back. And you can use your body just by weight displacement, getting the fabric sort of under control. Okay. Now what I do here is I put my one hand under the canopy and here I roll it together, hold the fabric together so that it doesn't open up again. Like that. My right hand here, left hand, I'll hold these together. I want to make my first S fold. And where I want to do that, push the knee down a bit. And note that the stitching is still sort of center. And press down on it. That's the first S fold. Second one, push it over, like that. And it's not about strength, it's more about weight displacement of keeping it together. And then the last one, there. Okay, so now this little bit of excess here, just get tucked in. Just like that. Got a little bit here. There's no effect at all. Okay. So what you want is this attachment point, and any bridle material, you don't want it inside the rolls. You want it all to be outside like that. Okay. So it can rather go to the inside bottom of the container of the deployment bag. Okay. Now controlling this, I hold it with my left hand here, the lines together. Lift it up and move the bag a little bit forward. See, I use the knees and everything that I have to just get it inside. Like that. This side and this side.
Give me a parachute, take me to the sky. Just take me to the blue before I start to fly. Give me a parachute, take me to the sun. Would be a miracle to turn this world into one.
Okay, so what we have is that this line is still in the center, and that's what we want, so that this whole pack job hasn't sort of twisted inside. I can roll this in a bit. The lines are still knitted together like that. I can roll this into the back a little bit more. Okay, now what I do is I don't put the rubber band through the grommet and then pull it on the band. I rather get the whole canopy inside the deployment bag, pull the bag closed, and then put the rubber band through. And I get as much of the fabric inside the deployment bag as possible. About a fist width, maybe a little bit less. So, what you really want with a bungee is to put it around only once, because that's how an elastic works. The moment you wrap it around twice, you have different tensions in the rubber band. It's not a problem, but that's not how a rubber band really works. So if the bungee is too soft, you've got to wrap it around twice. It means that the bungee is really actually too long, and you should actually have a shorter one. So what I do is I pull the lines together and I try to get the variance in line length in the loop itself and not there.
Well, I thought you were going to need your bumpers. I'm like,
okay. So this little bit I have here,
and it's brand new. And it's a 168. And it's a 150 container.
oh, okay, that's going to be hard.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Is it the ZP, the honeycomb material,
I don't know what the...
Is it that EXE material, that
I don't know.
the fancy structure? Okay, we'll see. We'll check it out.
But I can bring both rigs here, and you can have a look,
Yeah.
and then you can decide. This is going to be super easy.
Just pack both. Just pack both.
But
Loop these lines, but you don't want sort of, you want to keep it like nice, neat and taut. Okay. In the S, you start on one side and you move it all the way till the lines are done. And this loop here can be a little bit shorter than the first three. Note that some deployment bags might have four bungees here. Mine only has 3, but it makes no difference. And I've got the right size rubber band, so I only need to put it around once. If it goes around 2 or 3 times, I recommend changing the bungees, putting smaller ones on. Well, while I'm stowing the lines, I keep the bag still. I don't twist it or flip it over. Otherwise, that can cause a line twist. And what you want is a piece of excess line here, maybe about 400 or 500 millimeters. This is about 500 millimeters. All right, so this is pretty neat. I can now undo the pull-up cord there. And prepare the container, open the container up, because I want to get that whole deployment bag with the canopy in this space here. There. I'll put the pull-up cord through now. I can just hide it in there. Okay. Now without rotating the bag, I want to keep the bag still. I want to move it to the other side and then put the lines in first. I hold the lines here so that they don't accidentally slip out to move. Put it down like that. Now I can put the risers away. What you want is the riser to be not, you don't want any twists in it, you want it to be flat. So it's flat and the toggle is there. The toggle will be against the pack there. Yeah. If you don't have the little what do you call it, loops or whatever to retain the excess, you'll just let the excess line go straight here and you just make sure that it doesn't hang out and it's stuck neatly. And then I can tuck in the flaps. I'll do the same on this side. I don't want any twists in the risers. I want it to come out flat and neat. That. Okay. Now what you want is the lines. What you want is the lines to run all the way down to the bottom corner of the container. Up to there. You don't want the lines to shortcut and go through here. You want all the excess lines there in the bottom. Okay. There we go. And remember the whole bag I put that way over, so now I just bring it back the way I had it. Okay, so the knot that I made here, the temporary knot, just to prevent the keel line from accidentally slipping through, I can take that out.
That feels a lot harder than it hurts.
Rather smooth. Now, some manufacturers have the bag, which is not rectangular but square, and it will be pressed right down. This bag is rectangular, so it's designed for the shape of the container. Note that the deployment bag is made according to the container size and not the canopy size. So this deployment bag is specifically for the shape and the size of the container. Because it's rectangular, I need to turn it in. I need to turn this a little bit. Like that. And what I have here is that the center of this is the center of the container. Bridle coming out that way. Now the flaps are marked. This is number 1, 2, 3, 4. Some manufacturers could have a different sequence, but I would say most of them probably are bottom, top, right, left. I can use my pull-up. Now I can use my knees or anything just to press out a little bit more air and make it easier to pull this together. That. Then I use my knee to keep it in place. And the top one, number 2. The bridle still comes out neatly and flat. And there we go. And what we see also is that the grommets are over each other. They're not sort of misaligned. Bridle out there. Now instead of putting all the tension on this, I use my legs to press the container in. There's my closure loop. So I want to keep the bridle with at least twists, keep it nice and flat. Here's my pin, put it through. Now, many people would pack it smiley face up like this, or like that direction, or maybe even a sad face like that. Doesn't really matter as long as it's clear and you don't have any bridle in the way there. To pull up, I want to pull out, but I don't want to just sort of tuck on it because there's a lot of friction when I pull it out. So if I pull it out now, there's a lot of friction between the pull up and the closure loop. I use the pin to take that friction. I put it under the pin and I slowly pull it out like that. And the bridle. The bridle you tuck away, but you don't want to accidentally grab it when you deploy. So, or anything that can be hooked onto that. Okay, like that. Now I can close it. Now what I do is I bring the pilot chute, and this is just to assist me, just to make the packing easier for me. I put the pilot chute down with that point as close to the corner of the container, because then when I S-fold the bridle, there's not a lot of excess bridle left. And I half it, like that, and once more. Okay. Now what I've got here is that the hacky sack is right at the top, and the bridle is at the bottom there, so I can't just fold it this way, so I need to flip it over. Like that. All right, now I have the hacky on the floor, and the bridle there. And I can S-fold this as well. Okay, this is what I meant by there's not a lot of excess bridle that I now need to tuck away. I mean, it's pretty short and neat. One fold, and what also you don't want too much mesh sticking out. You rather want to tuck it in so that you've got only smooth surfaces, so there's less friction and it doesn't wear away the material. I make a double fold. I do the same on this side. One fold in there, and another one. And then from this side, I start rolling it as tight as possible. Until I get to the bridle. And then I just keep on rolling, but keep the pressure on it. Because you want this nice and tight. And there you go. Okay, and I don't have any mesh sticking out. It's purely smooth fabric. I just need to twist it a little bit so that the bridle comes out flat. And now what I do here is the bridle is, I want that as close to the back as possible and the hacky sack to be further out. I don't want the opposite way around, because the hacky to reach, to pull, you rather want it further away. So, just hold that. Into the BOC. Now what you see is that the hacky is on the outside and the bridle is on the inside. And this I just tuck away. And that is your pack drop. Ready to play.
Turn this world into one.
See you later.
Just take me to the blue before I start to collide. Get me a parachute, take me to the sun. Would be a miracle to turn this world into one. Get me a parachute. Get me a parachute, take me to the sky. Just take me to the blue before I start to fly. Get me a parachute, take me to the sun. Would be a miracle to turn this world into one.